through that and kind of unpacking all my brain drama. And then I became friends with Jen and we kept talking and I was like, really, this is fascinating. And anyway, so I found a life coach school. I got certified because like it seriously saved me. And without those tools and understanding how to do this, I was like, why didn't anybody tell me this? Like why don't we teach this in school? This should just be like table stakes kind of stuff. So anyway, I went
unpacking the brain drama 101.
Yeah, seriously. There's a really good podcast episode called Unf Your Brain, but it's not F. I'm assuming we'd keep it family friendly here. Yeah. Yeah, that. Another life coach school graduate does that.
Awesome.
Sounds like my kind of school, to be honest.
Yeah, it was intense. It was, again, mind-bending, but so good. I made my partner go through it. I was like, you need this, sir. Let's go.
How did that conversation go? He's like, are you judging me?
He watched me go through that. He watched the transformation. We would talk about the things I was learning. So he was definitely intrigued by it. And then in my brilliant mind, I was like, ooh, private coach. Like if he gets certified, then I got a coach, whenever I need it, whenever.
Nice. Nice. I see the thinking there.
Yeah. So it totally worked.
Well, okay. That's good to know. Because honestly, I was imagining it was more like helping women get into tech. But
I do that too. Basically, the tools that you learn, here's the dirty little secret. They work for anything.
Nice.
Anything and everything. Seriously.
Yeah.
So like I've chosen to just kind of apply it towards women who work in tech. Like my big thing is don't be like me, yo. Like if you want to prioritize your family, it's okay. If you want to get ahead in tech, it's okay. If you want to figure out, my big jam was I want to figure out how to have a career, stay fit, and be a decent human being with friends and family. Like it's got to be possible, right? Like I think we're led to believe that's just really hard.
Yeah.
Maybe.
One, it sounds like a lot of like the stress management, the anxiety, like those are things I think for me, I tend to do. That's why I was pointing out that word that you use, that term, that brain drama, because I feel like I relate to that in a lot of ways where I get so worried about what other, like my boss or
I'm a certified life coach. I still do.
Right? And you blow things out of proportion. Yeah. So that sounds super helpful.
Here's pro tip though. Okay. Watch the judgment. That's where it gets tricky. Right?
Like the self-judgment, you mean? Because that's where
I mean judgment. Self-judgment, judgment of other people, judgment of your project, judgment, whatever it is. The more that we allow it to be what it is and recognize that this is part of the journey, the more we can get into that acceptance and process the emotion. And like we were talking earlier about like disappointment and setbacks, like it's expected that we're going to have emotions about that. It's okay. Yeah. Process the emotions. Don't fight them. Don't judge them. Like, oh my gosh, I'm so stupid. Why did I unless that works for you, right? Like, who am I to judge? If it works for you, do a thing. It doesn't work for me so well. I don't know.
I think, and I can't remember if I've shared it here or somewhere else, but one of the most mind-shifting quotes for me in my life that it's made a huge impact on me. And sometimes I forget it and I have to really remind myself of it, but it's that life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I feel like that's kind of where you're leaning with that one, but
and sometimes we're a little bit like, could we just not have as much life happen right now?
Right.
Like I'm good. I'm tapped out.
Totally.
Oh, it's so good. That's a good one.
Well, for people who are just thinking about getting a coach, do you coach new people, or do you just have like a pool of people that you already coach and you're full up?
I actually do a lot of coaching at work on the job. Okay. Is where I do it mainly. I do have some private pay clients. It's totally an option. It's something I'm always thinking about. Like, is this my retirement plan? Am I going to retire early for this? I'm having way too much fun at GitHub to want to exit just yet. But yeah, it's there. It's something I'm always thinking about. So yeah, absolutely. I've done workshops for groups. I do private coaching sessions. I have lots of contacts. So yeah, if anyone's interested in working with me, I'm not plugging myself, but it is a possibility. And go to the lifecoachschool.com. There is a coaching directory there. There are some people who specialize in tech. There's tons that specialize in motherhood and parenting. And there's so many options. You don't have to use the Life Coach School. I had no idea that it's such a huge community. But yeah, if you're in that burnout phase, or if you're stuck in your career and you don't know like next steps to take, like get a coach.
Is that how you got certified then? Like how can other people get involved if they're interested in becoming a coach?
I was certified through the Life Coach School, and you can go to the lifecoachschool.com. They have programs starting, they run for 6 months. There's several programs, research them, find the one that works for you. And yeah.
All right, one last question for me,
okay.
And then I think I'm out of questions, but Brooke might have some more. If somebody wants to work at GitHub, what's that secret sauce that you're looking for in new people? And are you hiring right now?
We are hiring. We're strategically hiring. We do have some openings. What I look for, and this is going to be different, right? Depending on every team. But I can tell you definitely what I look for. I look for motivation. I look for commitment. I look for experience in some things, right? Here's the big thing, right? Sometimes I've got a specific need in a specific role. And so maybe I'm looking for a very specific experience or skill set or something. I don't have that going on right now, but generally kind of your general big hits and that transparency we were talking about, I really keep my culture where it is safe to stretch and learn. So there's nothing else that I'd love to see or hear about for folks that interview for my department than they didn't know it, they admitted it, because we do live coding, so like you can Google it. They asked us, right, what we thought. This is my interviewees now talking to me. Like the candidate asked us what we thought, and we were able to jam on it and figure it out together. Like they want to see how you're going to work every day, right? So work how you're going to work every day. Like be yourself, and those are the big things I'm looking for, is that energy and that drive and that commitment to figure it out. And then again, sometimes I am looking for very specific experience in certain things to fill a need.
Very nice. So kind of what I'm getting out of this episode is you've made your dreams happen. I think like you were stuck. You were in a place where you weren't necessarily unhappy, but it just wasn't, you just weren't feeling it. Like there was something that just didn't quite feel right to you. And yet you've made things happen. Like you took the initiative.
Turned it around.
Yeah, totally did. And so super inspiring. I love the whole, like how you got into it, into programming, how you figured out what you wanted to do, went that direction, and then you've just kind of taken those steps from there, but then reached out to people. You created your network and got a life coach and just worked through those things. So I'm curious, just to kind of wrap things up here, because you work at GitHub. Yeah. You've mentioned one, but are there any favorite like open source projects that you would want to share with our listeners? Just ones that you would say really stand out to you?
I mean, of course, there's Kubernetes, right? Golang. I mean, this seems like the quintessential ones. I'm trying to think of like some smaller, big hits that we use and that we love. There's so many. I mean, basically, it's the community, the whole open source community, right? Like GitHub was founded on the principle that we can bring the world together to collaborate and to contribute and to build up on each other's work. And so it really doesn't matter which repo, like get into it. Don't be afraid to, find your first repo and your first project and your favorite, or, those good first issues. And there's GitHub sponsors a community for resource and help generally. There's a huge education aspect, branch of our company too, that you can get help there. But just get into the open source and give back and build up and build your own skills. And yeah.
That's some fantastic advice. There's so much good out there. There's nothing stopping you too. Like if you feel like you're not qualified, think again.
Definitely.
Everyone is at different points, and we can all contribute, just like Liz was saying. You weren't sailing, you were saying, but you are sailing.
I am.
Sailing, everyone, in case you didn't know.
Be director.
Awesome. Well, anybody, if you do want to connect with Liz, be that for coaching or just getting to know her, she's tremendously kind, as you've seen. Great sense of humor, very much a person worth connecting with. But you can find her on Twitter at Liz Sailing, and it's not like a sailboat, so it's LIZSALING, and that would be a great way to reach out to her. But Liz, thank you so much. I've really loved having you on and just catching up and getting to know your story. What an inspiration that is. And like, really, I think if anybody's feeling stuck or just a little directionless, what a great story for finding that inspiration of, no, don't be stuck. There's people around to help you, and reach out to them. But there's so many opportunities around us, and go find your own Hawaii. Go find
That's
your
right.
own GitHub, right?
Y'all got this.
Nice. Cool. Well, thanks again.
You bet. It's so fun. Thank you for having me on.
This episode is sponsored by This.Labs. If you want to join us on our mission to advance the web, please consider becoming a member of our team. We're hiring software engineers, engineering managers, and more. Open to applicants from around the globe and always 100% remote. Between working for us and delivery, you'll literally never have to leave your house again.
Please note that This.Labs does encourage its employees to go outside and touch grass.
Learn what we're all about and apply at this.co/jobs.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Dev.Life podcast. Come join our community at Dev.Life Podcast on Twitter. And if you want to catch more of our content, we'd love to have you hang out with us at the Angular Community Meetup every second and fourth Tuesdays of the month. Get more info at angularcommunity.net.